Hey, what's up there? Aaron here, and in this video today, I'm going to show you how to calculate your macronutrients regardless if you're trying to gain weight, lose weight, or maintain weight. Now, throw this disclaimer out there. I'm not guaranteeing that these numbers are going to work for any given person because we're all different, all right? So it's important that you understand that if you apply these numbers and it doesn't work for you, it's on a case-by-case scenario and some certain tweaks might be needed. But this will give you a general idea on some good starting numbers if you're trying to approach some type of fitness goal, okay? Now, this is higher level stuff. I would not recommend calculating macronutrients if you're just getting started in losing weight. This may be it for that person if you're trying to lose 100 pounds, you lost your first 50, and you're trying to take off the next 50, okay? Again, this is not a recommended approach for somebody who is a beginner, all right? Now, with that said, if you love mathematics and you love nutrition, you are going to absolutely love this video. However, most of you out there probably hate math and you don't want to calculate anything, which is great because if you wait around to the end, I'm going to give you access to the tool that you can use where you can do no math. You just literally plug in some numbers and it spits everything out for you. So bear with me here. I'm going to throw some different formulas out there, some different calculations. So if you want to, grab a piece of paper, pen, pad, get ready to write some numbers down. However, like I said, if you wait around to the end, I'm going to give you access so you don't have to do any math. You can just literally put your numbers in and you're good to go. Okay, so the very first thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to calculate our BMR. It's a basal metabolic rate. Really quick, that's just how many calories your body burns at rest. So just, if you're just sitting around doing absolutely nothing, lying in a bed, that's how many calories your body theoretically should burn at rest. Again, theoretically, I'm throwing that number out there because it's not a guaranteed fact. That's how many calories you're going to burn. Okay, so to calculate your BMR, again, I'm going to throw a formula up here. So I have pen and paper. If you want to jot this down, pause the video. You can calculate it on your own. For men, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take 88.362 plus, in parentheses, 13.397 times your weight in kilograms, okay, end parentheses, plus, begin parentheses, 4.79 times your height in centimeters, end parentheses, minus, begin parentheses, bear with me, 5.67 times your age in years, end parentheses. That's going to be your BMR. For women, you want to take 4,447.593 plus, begin parentheses, 9.27 times your weight in kilograms, end parentheses, plus, begin parentheses, 3.098 times your height in centimeters, end parentheses, minus, begin parentheses, 4.33 times your age in years, end parentheses. Hot damn, we got it. That shit sucks. Like I said, wait to the end. I'm going to give you access to a tool that you don't have to calculate anything, you just put some numbers in. But if you love math, feel free to pause the video, write the formula down, do the math on your own. Next, we're going to want to calculate our total daily energy expenditures. Summed up, TDEE. This number, we have to factor in our activity, okay? So most of us don't just lie in a bed all day long and do absolutely nothing and let our metabolism work for us. Usually going to be doing something active. So it's an activity factor. Again, a theoretical activity factor. None of these numbers are facts, all right? It's just a general starting point. So if you don't do any exercise at all, you're going to want to multiply your BMR times 1.2. If you work out 1 to 3 times a week, light activity, you're going to want to multiply your BMR times 1.35. If you exercise regularly, 3 to 5 days a week, you're going to want to multiply your BMR times 1.55. If you work out 6 days plus a week, you're going to multiply your BMR times 1.7. And for those of you out there who are high-performing athletes, working out multiple times a day, 7 days a week, you're constantly active, you're going to multiply your BMR times 1.9, okay? That's going to give you your caloric intake to maintain your current weight, assuming that's your activity factor, all right? Now, what we want to do is we want to figure out if we want to either gain weight or we want to lose weight. The way we do that is we take that number we just calculated, all right, our TDEE, we multiply it by, if we're trying to lose weight, 0.8, okay? If we're trying to gain weight, 1.2. So you take your TDEE multiplied by 0.8 if you're trying to lose weight. If we're trying to gain weight, we multiply it by 1.2. Lots of math here. Like I said, bear with me. We're almost done. Now, we have our caloric requirement with depending upon our goals, whether it's to gain weight, lose weight, or maintain weight, now we have to figure out from a macronutrient standpoint, all right? I'm not going to get into what a macronutrient is. That's for another video. You got protein, fats, and carbohydrates, okay? Now, what I also want to do is factor in you, okay? Your body type. Different people with different body types process foods differently, okay? Again, this is not a one-size-fits-all approach, so I'm trying to make this as customizable as possible. What we're going to want to do is if you are an ectomorph, okay? Tall, skinny, thin bones, you maintain light weight very easily. It's very hard for you to put weight on. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have percentages of 25% protein, 55% carbohydrates, 20% fat. I'm going to explain how we calculate that. Next, if you're a mesomorph, you're naturally athletic in build, naturally muscular, okay? What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have different numbers. That's going to be for protein, 30%, carbohydrates, 40%, fat, 30%. These are, again, baseline numbers. This is not forever numbers are guaranteed to work, just the baseline numbers. If you are an endomorph, you're big boned, you're naturally thick in nature, really easy for you to gain weight, you're going to have different numbers. For protein, 35%. For carbohydrates, because you're probably pretty sensitive to carbohydrates, 25%. For fat, 40%. Now, the percentages are percentages of the number that we calculated, okay? If we're looking to gain weight, lose weight, or maintain weight, the percentages are the percentage of those calories come from those macronutrients. So theoretically, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to break down for you've got your base, your big number that you calculated, okay? From that, you calculate that number for your protein, you multiply times 0.25. Then, because there are 4 grams of protein per calorie, what we want to do is we want to divide that number by 4. That's going to give us our grams of protein each day that we're going to want to shoot for. Next thing, to figure out my carbohydrates, I do the same exact thing. I multiply that number, all right, that top level baseline number times 0.55. We're going to divide that number by 4. Because again, there's 4 grams of carbohydrates in each calorie, all right? From there, that gives us our grams of carbohydrates. Lastly, to figure out my fat, I'm going to take that big baseline number again. I'm going to multiply that by 0.2, 20% fat. I'm going to divide that by 9, all right? There are 9 calories per gram. I've been saying this wrong, okay? 9 calories per gram of fat, not 9 grams of fat per calorie. 9 grams of calories per gram of fat, okay? Now, I have my proteins, I have my fats, I have my carbohydrates, okay? Those are my 3 macronutrients. I also have my baseline calorie number that I'm going to be shooting for. That, folks, is how you calculate your macronutrients, okay? Now, that was a lot. It's a lot of math. For those of you that hate math, I've put together a super easy tool that you can use to calculate all of this with simply putting in your weight, your age, your height, everything gets spit out, okay? Everything you need. The grams of protein, grams of carbs, grams of fat. So now all you have to do is you take those numbers, okay? So access to that tool, because I promise if you waited around through this whole video, I'm going to give you access. Visit www.aaronmeredith.com/macro calculator, all right? There's going to be a spot where you can put your name and your email, submit. I'll send you an email. You'll be able to download the tool, and you'll have instant access to be able to calculate your macronutrients, okay? Now, other videos coming up. I'm going to explain how we take those numbers we just calculated and we approach each day. So now we just have our daily goals on what we want to eat for proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. What the hell are proteins? What the hell are fats? What the hell are carbohydrates? What sources should we shoot for? How do I track all that? All that's going to come in future videos. But for now, what I want you to do is I want you to calculate your macronutrient needs based off of your specific goals. Good luck.